Good morning. How are we doing? How are you? I hope you're well. Hot and humid here in Tennessee. Woohoo! Holy cow. I should have worn a little sundress or something out to run the dogs instead of what I wear for work, which is black. Frankie! Jump, good boy! Hi, handsome. Say hi. Hi. He got we have skunks in the neighborhood. Did not know that till recently. For a couple of different nights, I was sitting outside and I could just smell a whiff of, it smelled like a skunk, but just a little different. Someone said because I probably had COVID, and so my senses probably because it just didn't smell like the skunks I grew up with. I don't know if they're different down here, or that could be true. Everything else, my taste buds and my smeller for everything else so far has been pretty much right on. So I don't know. But anyway, I thought he rolled in, and then something scared the skunk in the front yard evidently and sprayed in the yard, and Frankie just had to roll in it. I bathed him once. I thought it was pretty good, but he has, I think, border collie in him. So even though his hair is short, he's got that fluff underneath. He's got at least 2 different types of hair. Border collies, I think, have 3, but he definitely has 2. When I brush him, I don't get a lot of the long hair. I get this cottony, soft rabbit hair, cottony hair that comes out of the brush. Yeah, don't I? Anyway, the first bath didn't work. I just used regular shampoo, dog shampoo, and conditioner. Don't come at me. Conditioner, I think, is a good thing. I mean, it works on human skin, so the stuff they roll in, I can't see how it could be bad for them. So anyway, ooh, I used a lot today, but I like how it feels on my skin. So just within, that night sleeping with him, the smell started really surfacing. So I put it out there in the Nextdoor app. You can ask questions about the neighborhood in there. So I asked about skunks and how to get the smell out. And because a friend of mine said tomato juice, and I just was gonna excuse me, Google it. And then somebody said, try peroxide baking soda and Dawn dish soap, and gave the recipe. You can find it on the internet. And it's like a quart of hydrogen peroxide, one of those big bottles, a 1/4 cup of baking soda, and a tablespoon of dish soap. So anyway, I mixed it up and just really washed him down with it. And man, has it helped. Oh my goodness. I was able to sleep with him without wondering what life would be like without a dog. He's not paying attention. Or he is. But I didn't mean it, honey. Okay, so I have been taking a break from TV, and I'll tell you why. Well, from the news, especially. I mean, I've still been watching some recorded shows. I've been watching some. Since my godmother died, I've never been a soap opera person because I know how addictive they are, and I know how they can affect your thinking. Paranoia about relationships. They're just, some of us can't watch that stuff without it affecting our personality. So that's why I recommend people who are having trouble with their marriages, I like to ask what kind of TV programming they're watching, because it's programming your brain. Anyway, the news has just been the same exact stuff on every channel. So if I'm interested in anything, I just go to YouTube. There are so many actual reporters that actually go out and ask people the people questions. So if I want any news, I go to certain sources. If anything with medicine comes out, Dr. John Campbell has his channel, and he talks about anything that's pertinent. I like to listen to Dark Horse. It's a married couple who have a talk show, and they talk about very interesting topics. I can't wait for Elsbeth to come back on TV. So anyway, I've been feeling a little better, a little calmer about life. Just not watching that damn TV news. It just feels so good to pamper myself. It's kind of ridiculous, isn't it? Holy cow. So I've been watching these soap operas because my godmother, who passed away 2 years ago, and my godfather passed away earlier this year on their anniversary. Hold on a second. That's weird. Thought I heard something. What was I saying? So I miss her so much because we used to talk on the phone every once in a while, and she was always watching some kind of soap opera. She watched them all day long. And so I started recording General Hospital and The Young and the Restless, because those were 2 of the 6 she watched. And just to feel a little closer to her, because we've only had maybe 3 deep conversations in a couple in forever. Everything else was just problem solving in the moment. But as far as talking about life and the meaning of life, deeper thoughts, well, a lot of people can't do that. A lot of people find it boring. I find it fascinating. You know, talking about philosophy, history. She's didn't have higher education. She worked in a factory all of her life. And that's how she died, is from mesothelioma. Themomia. You know, you've seen it on TV. That's what she died of. And it was... once it got hold of her, it went pretty fast. And I was blessed because I got to be the one that sat with her as she passed. What a blessing. But anyway, watching the soap operas just makes me feel a little closer to her. Gives me that connection. But anyway, yesterday on both of the shows, excuse me, I took my allergy pills. We're having some painting done, so there's dust all through the house. I'll be glad when it's done. I like the guy who's doing the work. He's doing the work all by himself. And very happy about that he's pleasant. It's just, it's not an overnight deal. You have to sand and then mud and then let it dry a day and then sand again. It's a process. So I'm trying to be patient because I know it gets on my spouse's nerves and mine to have things out of place, to have, the inconvenience of not being able to use the kitchens and the bathrooms the way you want. And so we've been getting on each other's nerves a little bit. He said 60% of what comes out of my mouth is negative. And I was like, really? I didn't know that. I'm going to watch it. Excuse me. I'm going to watch it because I didn't see that. Jahari's window. And it's not like I don't believe him, because the personality I have is to critique and then problem solve. That's sort of my personality. So it's not that I don't believe him. It's just that I know that I can change that. If I have an opinion on something, it's a challenge sometimes for me to not share the opinion. Because in my head, I'm being helpful. Well, maybe I am and maybe I'm not. I don't know. But he's saying it's not helpful. So that's what matters. It's the people around you. Communicating doesn't always have to be about my mental health and about me meeting my needs. It doesn't always. I'm not saying don't communicate when it's necessary. I'm saying, sometimes we have to listen to the people around us and take in consideration if what they're saying is true. And I really appreciated the way he said it, because he says, how we feel about gossip. And I was like, yeah. And he said, when you find something wrong with certain things, I get that same feeling. It's like you're gossiping. You're just saying something negative for no reason. That, if we can't help it, we can't help it. Or what do you want me to do about it? And if there's nothing to do about it, if it's not helpful, then it feels negative. I was really surprised that he had the guts to have that kind of conversation with me. He's been seeing a counselor, so that must really be helping, because that's something to look at, right? When our house is tore up, anytime my home has been under construction or what have you, I'm looking for things to catch while the worker's still there. And I try to say, oh, wow, this looks great. He says, yeah, but you say, this looks great, but. Like, oh, I'm sharing this with you because there are a couple things that hit my mind. One of them is, if people don't have the guts to share with us, how can we change anything? Right? So I appreciate, and I'm just so glad he wasn't in his old form where he made a broad statement. You always, you never. Instead, it was 60%. And it's like, oh. Now that sounds like, once it starts sounding more realistic, I can hear it. And I know that some of us, when we're not feeling our best, we do get dramatic and exaggerate to try to make a point. And it's not helpful to the person who is willing to change. And also, I don't have to beat myself up over not being perfect, because I like to feel like I'm an evolving human being, right? Well, there's so many of us. And I have been one of them in the past where, but you're worse. You do this or that. You know, instead I was able to listen, hear him, and be grateful that he shared it with me. And then said I would definitely take a look at that and make some adjustments to really be aware of if what I'm saying is necessary. Especially if I can't say it in a way that comes across as grateful. I don't like fancy tiles in a kitchen sink for backsplash. I don't know how that got so popular, because in my opinion, splatter happens. Especially spaghetti sauce. Especially when you're stir frying. Okay, is this looking right? Right enough. Right enough. Right as rain. So I don't have to take it personally. I can take it as information. There have been times when I wouldn't have taken it as information because I had so much resentment built up about what he's done. That why I just didn't have the space to consider my part. Maturing, growing up a little bit, has been priceless. Learning when to just listen, even though I may have a rebuttal. See, I have rosacea right in here. So if I put extra foundation here, it cuts it off there. So it'll help give me... Oh, I have to answer this, right? No? Ooh. I stayed connected. If I get disconnected, I'm sorry. And I will finish the video or I'll just delete it. It's the new housekeeper who I'm sure is calling to cancel. I need help. I might ask one of the girls I'm sponsored to help me if that call was about canceling. I hope not. We'll see. We'll see. So I do some readings in the morning to get me in a positive mindset. I wake up usually happy if I'm not miserable or really worried about something. I normally wake up, my first thought is comfort and I don't know if the word is joy or feeling blessed, or it's just an innocent happy. Once I was working through a certain level in my therapy, I was told that a lot of people will wake up in the morning and instantly look for something negative. They might wake up and go, wow, why do I feel so happy when I have all this to worry about? Instead of, wow, I woke up happy, clean, starting the day over, reawakening, rebirth. Waking up in the morning is like a rebirth. Sleeping is the closest we'll ever get to death, as far as, not being injured or put out with medicine or what have you. Sleeping gets us close to that mode, really, from what I hear. You can look it up on the internet or chat, GPT or whatever it's called, but physiologically. So waking up is like a rebirth to me. So if I start to go negative right away, I change my mind to something more positive, and it works almost every time when I'm not miserable. So I had a reading this morning about the coal basket. So the boy went to his teacher and said, I pray and meditate every day, and it just doesn't seem to be working. It's not doing for me what it's been doing for you. And the teacher said, well, take this basket down to the pond and bring it back to me after you filled it with water. Fill it with water and bring it back to me. So the boy did it, and the water had drained out of the basket before he could even get it to the teacher, the old man. And after doing that a few times, the young boy said, why should I bother going to get water with this coal basket? Because it all drains out. And the old man said, well, take a look at that coal basket. It's not holding water, but look how clean it is now. And I'm not telling it, I'm not the best storyteller in the world, but the point is, with all the prayer and meditation that I do and all the self-improvement stuff I try to do, sometimes I think, why haven't I arrived yet? What the hell? Sorry, Frankie, my little young boy's ears. But then I that reading reminded me, I'm so much better than I used to be. That doesn't mean I don't still need work, right? So, I have some work to do. I'm going to start being more aware of what I'm saying. And the reason why I also believe it is because I am a critiquer. I mean, that's the facts. Come on. There are certain things that we don't see ourselves do sometimes, and somebody else tells us, and we can find it useful, or we can fight it. But sometimes there's that little voice in your head that goes, oh, I can see that. So pay attention, right? Just pay attention. Doesn't mean they're not a self-centered narcissist trying to make you feel bad because they feel bad. But could be true. So give it some thought. I don't know. So I have my primary care providers making me an appointment with an oncologist. and is going to try to get me booked for an MRI, which in this town is almost impossible to get x-rays, but there are several places that have MRIs, so I should be able to get that done. And he said, but I'm not sure if your insurance will pay for it if you don't have an oncologist prescribe it. And I remember having insurance that covered a CAT scan because I was having terrible headaches, and that wasn't from a brain surgeon. So we'll see. And I've been doing Joe Tippin's protocol, and I finally brought Facebook up. I haven't said anything on Facebook, like hello or anything. Last post I made was, I think, in 2003 sometime. So it's been over 2.5 years since I've posted anything on Facebook. And that's because I had trouble keeping my mouth shut. And I don't know that many people anyway. So who do I think I'm reaching? I mean, I had several people who were in my friend group, friends, but I didn't remember who half of them were. You know, they're people I've met through different travels, different education circles, different work circles, but nobody I really talked to. So I don't know. Let me see. I don't know. But I got on there and got into mycancerstory.rocks. And that's Joe Tippin's Facebook page. And I watched a couple videos on that talking about his protocol, things that he's taken. And I also watched some of Dr. Campbell's on YouTube about cancer. And it's very interesting. So far I feel pretty confident in what I'm doing for self-care, just following my own intuition. We'll see how it goes or how it changes. But the only thing I've been experiencing is tired. I do fine until about 2 o'clock. And to be honest with you, that has been, I was thinking about it. I was thinking, I usually do get tired in the afternoon. And do you know, in some countries, Spain, back in the day, they used to take siestas. And they would close up shop even. I mean, the touristy places would stay open at 2 o'clock, but a lot of them would close down at 2 o'clock to go relax, take some time off. Yeah, you get off work, you're tired if you've worked, right? Especially as you age. Let's see what else. Hi, baby. He was kind of mad at me about all the baths in just a short time, but he's finally starting to love his mama again. Yeah, you love your mama again. Do ya? Do ya? Aw, thank you for the kiss. Let's see, what else? I got nothing. So I'm just checking in. I hope y'all are doing well. If not, I'd love to hear from you. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below. Yeah. Oh, also, so Dr. something Lipton, like the tea, has a video that I'm going to watch on YouTube. I guess it's like a 2.5 hour lecture. It's basically his book, and I can't remember the name of the book either. I'm going to try to, so if you don't want to read the book, listen to the 2.5 hour lecture. That's what I'm going to do. because I have a lot of house cleaning to do. So, it's about how positive thoughts change your physiology. And that change, that particular physiology, that particular chemistry that happens when you're thinking positive about life and cheerful, it gives brain chemicals throughout the body that are healing. And when you think negative thoughts, it's basically poison to all the cells in your body. So I'm going to recommend an experiment, and you'll hear this from the big thinkers, the big people on stage talking about meditation and some of the ways to stop negative thinking, and that's stop thought, change thought. If you have a negative thought, do you know that most people, when they start this journey of stop thought, change thought, meditation, whatever, they'll have a negative thought or they'll start thinking and it's not positive, it's not cheerful, and so then they catch themselves, which is good, but then they think, what's wrong with me? God, why can't I do this? Oh, I had to have that thought. And they start beating themselves up, which is also negative. You don't get extra points for beating yourself up for having negative thoughts. You get more poison. So, you have a negative thought, you just let it go. And you can be funny about it. There for a while, they'd say, let it be a balloon that you just let go. And I'm like, I pop my balloons. I don't like letting my balloons go. I just feel like that's not good for the planet. I don't want some poor bird eating it or something. So I just pop that balloon out and get it out of here. Or I imagine putting it in a beautiful box, even if it's doo-doo. Put it in a beautiful box with a spatula that wipes clean in it. Close the beautiful lid and hand it over to my higher power. Thank you for taking this. And any sort of gratitude is like extra wonderful chemicals. You know, you can be happy and cheerful, but when you pull it up to gratitude, the body loves that. So you don't have to have a perfect environment, a perfect home, a perfect car, a perfect relationship, a perfect dog, evidently. But you still have to be grateful. You gotta be grateful because he's a little lovey buddy. He's a little lovey buddy. He's a little lovey buddy. Aren't you? He acts like this when I'm on video. He does not act like this normally. I've told you that a million times. He's not a show dog. No, he's a murderer and a hound dog. Oh, I've got so much work to do today. What is this curl popping up? What? Should I keep it or does it look like a horn? I don't know. It's too hot to wear my hair down. It's just too hot. And I love wearing my hair down because I don't like how ponytails hold on my head. Sometimes I get lucky like today and it's not uncomfortable, so hopefully that's, oh, I need to trim my bangs already. And my hair's getting so long and back, I think I need to trim. But we'll have to deal with that later. Yeah, that's gonna bug me because I'll see it in the camera and I won't like it. It's not that this is a beautiful hairstyle, but it's good enough. It's good enough. I'm not going to a fashion show. Let's see what that looks like. It's good enough. That's what I say. I go wash this makeup off my hands and then go get ready for my first client. I got some research to do. I like to be prepared. Yeah, I do. All right, you have a great day. If nobody's told you, I care. I care. So big hug. Hang in there. You got this. Mwah. Bye for now. Bye, Frankie. Bye for now.